Cath. My channel is Made by Cath Craft. Thank you very much for joining me for my latest video, which is a week of my handmade wardrobe. So it's Saturday today and I'm planning on popping on every day this week from Saturday through to Friday and sharing with you what I'm wearing for my handmade wardrobe. And I'll be talking about the patterns I'm wearing, sizing and details of any adjustments I've made, also the fabrics I've chosen and where I got them from, and how I've styled the outfits. And I really enjoy doing this style of video, and it's going to work really well this week, I hope, because this week my children are off school. It's their half-term holiday, so they've got a week off, and it's really nice to have them around, and we've got lots of fun activities planned, some Halloween related and some not. But with them around, it does mean it's quite hard sometimes to be able to get the time I need to sit down and film a video in one sitting. So I think this style of video works much better, where I can just pop on every day for a slightly shorter amount of time, then pop all the videos together at the end of the week to make a video that shares with you what I've been wearing throughout the week. So that is the plan for this week. So like I mentioned, I'm starting off today, which is Saturday. And my children wanted a bit of a slow start to the weekend because it's their first day of the holidays. So they are still upstairs with my husband, so I thought I'd pop down before they came down and share with you what I'm wearing before we start getting on with our day. So today I am wearing a jersey dress. The last few days I've sort of been living in sweatshirts and jeans just because it was getting towards the end of term. It's been quite rainy, the weather hasn't been great, so I've just been pulling on something in the morning without thinking about it too much and then getting on with my day. But I thought today I'd like a break from sweatshirts and jeans but still want to wear something quite comfy, so I've gone for this jersey dress, which is really nice and comfy to wear, so perfect for a sort of day at home with the family. And the pattern I made this dress using is this one here, which is the Cocoa dress pattern by Tilly and the Buttons, which I think is one of Tilly and the Buttons' oldest patterns. I don't know if it's the oldest one, but definitely one of the oldest patterns. But it's a really nice jersey dress pattern. It's designed to be a fairly relaxed fit jersey dress. When I was looking at the measurements, there's a bit of ease in it. It's not got negative ease like some of the more close-fitting jersey dress patterns like the Freya dress. It's designed to be a little bit more loose fit, and I guess it's got a bit of a 60s sort of mini dress vibe to it. I'll show you the line drawings. You can either make it as a tunic top or a dress. And it's got this boat neckline, and you can add a sort of funnel neck to it if you want. It's quite a wide neckline. Then you can make it with long sleeves or a 3/4 length sleeve. And it's got a dress with this sort of A-line style skirt, or you can make the tunic, which has little slits at the side, and you can add patch pockets or a little patch at the top if you want to. So a few interesting features to it. And it took me a while to come around to making this dress, but I really enjoyed sewing up when I did, but I did sort of go a little bit off piece with it, I guess. The pattern says it's designed to be made in medium weight knit fabrics with little stretch, like ponte or double knit or interlock. I'm not a big fan of ponte because I find it's often got quite a high polyester content, which I just find not very breathable, so not very comfy to wear. So I decided to give the pattern a go in cotton jersey. So my version is made in cotton jersey, and I made the 3/4 length sleeve version because I thought it'd be quite nice as a dress for sort of transitional weather where it's not too cold yet. So this is my version in cotton jersey, and it did work out fine. I guess it doesn't hold the shape of the skirt as well as maybe a more substantial knit does, so it's a little bit more drapey. And then also the neckline didn't turn as well as I wanted, I think because the way you finish this neckline is you basically just turn over the fabric and then zigzag it in place. But I found with the cotton jersey it's stretched out a little bit, so it's not my best ever neckline. You can see it sort of sags down slightly here. So I think if I made this dress again, I'd do the neckline differently. I'd probably finish it with a sort of a slightly wider turnover and a twin needle, maybe to give a slightly better finish and stop it stretching out. I think that is probably just a problem that I've had because I use cotton jersey instead of a more stable knit fabric. I don't think if you used a more stable knit fabric, it will probably stretch as much, but I do really like it in the cotton jersey. It's a really nice, relaxed day dress to wear. So I don't let the neckline bother me too much. And I think if I iron it and press it, sometimes it can improve it a little bit too. But yeah, this is my version. I went for the mini skirt version. I also made quite a lot of adjustments to the fit of it actually. I think I originally made the straight size 2, which I usually make for Tilly and the Buttons patterns, which is designed for bust 32 inches, waist 26 inches and hips 35 inches. And I'm 32, 26, 36. So it's pretty much my measurements. But when I made this one up, it came out quite big on me. I guess like I mentioned before, it's not designed to have negative ease, which I'm often used to on patterns like the Agnes top or the Freya dress that are also by Tilly and the Buttons. So I wasn't expecting it to be as loose, but it did come up loose. So I ended up taking it in quite a lot on the side seams just to make it slightly more fitted. I think that worked better for the cotton jersey and it just felt a bit more comfortable for me too. So it ended up being a little bit of an altered version of the original Coco pattern really, so not kind of a classic standard Coco straight out of the packet, but I really love how it's turned out, and I think the fabric is really cute on this one too. I got this fabric from an online shop that's unfortunately since closed down, but I think it's a really sweet fabric. It's got this white base and these black stripes and then also these little lines of hearts on. I'll stand up so you can see them a little bit better. And I just think it's quite a sweet sort of fabric. It kind of makes me feel a bit like a Breton striped sort of French style fabric, so I thought it went quite well for a sort of simple jersey dress. And I'll put a picture up so you can see how it looks on. As I said, it's a bit of a modified Coco dress, but I do really love it, and I would really like to revisit this pattern in the fabric that's designed for a bit more. Like, I know you can get some sort of double knit or interlock that's made with a high viscose content. I think I've seen that out there, so that's something I might consider in the future as a good alternative to a ponte, to try making it maybe a more cosy wintry version of the Coco. But this is perfect for this in between weather. It's a bit of a rainy day today, it's not super cold, so I think this will work well for a day at home with the family. So that is what I'm wearing today. As you can see, I've just got it on with a pair of black tights, and if it gets a bit cooler later, I'll probably add a black cardi too. So that's what I'm wearing today, but I better finish off here now and go and find my family and get on with my day. So I will see you again for tomorrow, which will be Sunday. So see you tomorrow. Bye. Hello, it's Sunday morning here now. It's about 9:15 in the morning, so quite early still. And I've had to put the lights on in here this morning for this video, which I don't usually have to do. But it's a very, very dark day outside this morning. It should be daylight out there. The clocks aren't changing until next weekend. But it's very, very rainy out there. We had heavy rain through the night. It's still raining now, and the sky is covered with dark rain clouds. It's a very gloomy day. So I've got the lights on so you can still see what I'm wearing today. So today we're off to church this morning, which should be nice. And then we're going to come back, and my sister and my niece are going to come over for lunch and a play here this afternoon. So we've got indoor activities planned today, which is good because I think the rain is set to be carrying on all day. And today I am wearing a dress that I think I made about a year or so ago, and I really like this one. And it is, I made it mainly using this pattern, although I hacked it a little bit, and I'll talk about that. And the pattern is this one here, which is the Bakerloo blouse and dress pattern by Nina Lee London. So it's a really nice woven dress and blouse pattern. I'll talk mainly about the dress because that's the version I'm wearing today. So it's a dress with a darted bodice and a gathered skirt. Then it's got this cool oversized collar with a ruffle detail around the edge, and these sort of balloon sleeves with a little ruffle again on the cuff. And in terms of sizing, I've got the paper pattern, which goes from a UK 6 up to a UK 20, but there's also a PDF version available in UK size 16 up to 28. But it's a really nice pattern. I made a couple of versions of the blouse and the dress, but for this version I decided to mix it up a little bit. So you'll see the collar, and it's slightly different to the Bakerloo dress collar. I actually borrowed this collar from a different pattern, which is the Megan Nielsen Sudley blouse and dress pattern, which has this cute Peter Pan collar on that I thought would look really nice with the Bakerloo dress and add a bit more of a subtle feature of the collar. So it took a bit of tweaking to kind of get the shape of the collar from the Sudley dress to fit the Bakerloo neckline, but I'm really happy with how that turned out. And then I made a couple of other changes. I also slimmed the sleeves down quite a bit to make them more of a narrow sleeve rather than a balloon sleeve, just because I find that sort of seems to suit me better. I often find the kind of balloon sleeves a little bit overwhelming on me and find they wear me a little bit. And I also changed it to a simple elasticated cuff rather than the ruffle cuff. And that was mainly because when I ordered fabric for this dress, I slightly underestimated, so I was really tight on the fabric. So I kind of tried to sort of save fabric wherever possible, and this elasticated cuff just took a little bit less fabric than the ruffle cuff. But I quite like it actually, the simple elasticated cuff. And then I made the straight Bakerloo dress on the bodice and skirt, except I think I lengthened the bodice slightly by maybe an inch or so. And I also added on waist ties to cinch it in a little bit. So I'll stand up a bit so you can see how that looks. So I really love this dress. In terms of sizing, I think I went for the size 6 on the bust, and then I graded out to a size 8 on the waist and hips, which is pretty much based on my measurements, because I do find Nina Lee patterns are quite true to size and on the fitted side. I didn't want it to feel too tight around my waist. I wanted to be able to kind of get it on and off fairly easily, obviously. So that's the sizing I went for on this one. And I think I might have shortened the skirt just slightly to bring it to slightly above the knee. But it's a really nice comfy dress to wear, and I think the collar kind of adds a little bit of a dressiness to it. And I love how the sleeves have a bit of gathering on top, so it just adds a little extra feature there too. And the fabric I use for this dress is a really beautiful Atelier Brunette viscose fabric that I got from Minerva. I really love this fabric. I'll link it down below. It's It looks almost like it's black, but it's actually a very, very deep navy blue. And I could tell that this morning because when I got my tights out, black tights, you could see the kind of blue in the fabric stood out against the black of the tights. And it's got this really pretty little sort of, I don't know, the flowers, what they are, in these lovely colours, sort of burnt orange and taupe, which I think are really nice for this time of year. They're really autumnal sort of peaks of colour on this one. And it was really nice to sew with. It's nice and opaque. It's a really lovely drapey fabric as well. And the only other thing I had to do on this pattern, because I was short on fabric, is I wanted to add the pockets in the skirt. The skirt's got pockets in the side seam, but I didn't have enough of this fabric, so I ended up using a sort of fun peak of different viscose fabric that I had left over as a fabric remnant in my stash. So no one can see this fabric except for me, but when I remember it and have a look at it, I think, oh, that looks cute in the pockets. So I'll stand up and show you the peak of the other fabric I used in the pockets. So I think that's a little bit of a fun flash of colour that, as I said, no one will really see except for me. But it's a nice comfy one to wear. I find the Bakerloo, the sort of shape of the Bakerloo is really nice and comfy, and I like where the darts sit and everything on this one. And I'll put a picture up so you can see what it looks like on. Yeah, it's just quite comfy to wear, but I think it also looks quite dressy, so it'll feel quite nice for wearing to church today. So that's what I'm wearing today, but I better head off now and get everyone ready to head out to church. I think I'll probably take a big thick black cardigan with me too, because it can sometimes be quite cold at church, I find, because it's quite an old building. It was built in the 1800s, so it can get quite chilly in there. So I'll leave you now and head off, and I'll see you again tomorrow for Monday. Hopefully the weather will be better tomorrow, we shall see. So yeah, see you tomorrow. Bye. Hello, it's Monday now. It's just after lunchtime, and today it's a really lovely sunny day outside, so quite different weather from yesterday where we had the biggest thunderstorm in the afternoon. The sky went really dark, there was thunder and lightning, so much rain came down. But we had red skies yesterday evening, so we thought it would be a nice morning today, and it has been. And we've had some friends over for a play date. So the house down here is a bit of a tip. There have been lots of toys come out. I haven't had a chance to do a bit of tidying yet. Our friends left, we had some lunch. My children are having a bit of quiet time in the other room, so I thought I'd pop in here and share with you what I'm wearing today. And I also noticed, because the sun is streaming through the window, you can see behind me on the wall some of the shadows or outlines of some Halloween stickers we put up this morning on our window. So yeah, I think that's a little cat back there. Oh, it's gone now. Anyway, yeah, we had a bit of fun putting up some Halloween stickers this morning. But anyway, today I have got on a kind of classic combination. It's two Tilly and the Buttons patterns. I'm wearing a Tilly and the Buttons jersey top that I made using this pattern here, which is the Agnes top pattern, and I've matched that with a pinafore that I made using this pattern here, which is the Clio pinafore pattern. So I'll talk about the Agnes top that I'm wearing first, and I really like the Agnes top pattern by Tilly and the Buttons. I think it's a really nice basic for your wardrobe, also can be really pretty in a nice fabric too. But it's quite a close fitting jersey top pattern with this scoop neck, and I usually make this sort of simple version here with the long sleeves, but you can also make a version with a little bit of ruching at the front, or you can make a shorter sleeve version with this sort of more voluminous sleeve with ruching on the shoulder and extra detail there. It is one of Tilly and the Buttons' older patterns, so it hasn't got the biggest size range like the newer patterns have. It goes from a UK 6 up to a UK 20, and the largest size is bust 44 inches. And I always make the straight size 2, which is a UK 8, which is designed for bust 32 inches, waist 26 inches and hips 35 inches. And I always make the straight size 2. I don't bother grading out the hips, even though I'm an inch larger on the hips, just because I always make it in a really stretchy fabric, so it seems to stretch over my hips just fine. The only adjustment I generally make is to lengthen both the sleeves and the body, because I have got longer arms and a longer torso. But the version I'm wearing today I made in a really cute cotton jersey fabric. It's got this sort of an ecru or creamy coloured base, and then these red stripes and little flecks in the fabric, which I think is quite a sweet detail. And the version I'm wearing today, as you can see, has a different neckline. It's not got the scoop neckline of the Agnes top. I borrowed this neckline from a different pattern. It's more of a boat neckline style. And the pattern I use for this neckline is a free pattern, which is the Mandy Boat Tee top by Tessuti Fabrics. And I'll link the Mandy Boat Tee top down below, as well as the Agnes top too. And it's just got a really nice way of sewing the neckline of a boat tee, I find the Mandy Boat Tee does. You kind of turn under the front and back pattern pieces and sort of sew the neckline in place then before you stitch the shoulder seams. And it seems to give a really nice finish. It lies nice and flat, unlike my neckline on my Coco dress, which I wore earlier this week. But yeah, so I really like this hack of the Agnes tee. I think it just gives a different extra detail to the pattern if you're not looking for a scoop neck. And I think it works quite well together with a Clio Pinafore. So that is my top. I think I got this fabric quite a long time ago from Lily and Mimi Fabric Shop. And they always sell really nice cotton jerseys, but I doubt this particular one is still in stock there, but I'll link the website down below. And then the Clio Pinafore I teamed it with, I'll talk about the Clio Pinafore pattern first before I talk about my version. It's a really nice and simple Pinafore pattern. It's one of the earlier makes I made when I was first getting into indie patterns. I think it might have been my first indie pattern I tried possibly. But it's designed for beginners, so it was a great one when I was just really new to sewing, because it's quite a simple sew and the instructions really hold your hand through the whole process. But it's quite a straight fit pinafore pattern. You can either make it as a mini skirt length or a knee length version. I think for my version I might have gone for just a little bit longer than the mini, so kind of, yeah, somewhere in between. And then you can add on patch pockets either at the back or the front, and little sort of pouch pocket here. And you can finish it either with buttons or buckles. I've gone for the sort of silver buckles on my version. But it just comes together really nicely, and there's some top stitching which I think is always fun. It's got a little facing around the top, and I just used the same fabric for my facing. But I've seen some really pretty versions where people have kind of scrap busted by picking sort of pretty cotton poplins or cotton lawns for their facing instead. In terms of size, and this one has a slightly larger size range than the Agnes top. It goes from a UK 6 up to a UK 24. I think that takes you up to a bust of 48 inches. So a slightly larger sizing, but not the full sizing that the usually the buttons patterns are coming out in. But it's just a really nice sew, and I think this is my second version of the Clio Pinafore I made, but it was still really early when I started sewing, so all of my seams are finished with a little zigzag stitch, because this is before I had my overlocker. But luckily the zigzag seems to have lasted, but it doesn't look super pretty on the inside, but it's still holding together, so that's good. And I made it in this really nice, quite fine needle cord fabric in a navy colour. I can't remember where I got this from. I will try and find out and link wherever I got it from down below. It was a very long time ago when I started sewing, so I doubt they have probably the same fabric in stock, but it's a fine needle cord, so quite lightweight. So it's quite a nice, comfy, relaxed one to wear. It doesn't sort of hold the shape of the pinafore, maybe like a more sturdy corduroy does, but I find it really comfy because it's nice and loose and lightweight. I'll stand up a bit so you can see a bit more of the pinafore. I've got the little patch pocket on, and I've got the back pockets. I don't really use them much, but I think they look quite nice. And again, I think I made the straight size 2 for this one, which is designed for waist 26 inches and hips 35 inches, like the Agnes top. I think I went on to make another Clio Pinafore and actually added a bit more room around the hips, just because it is made in woven fabric, because there's no stretch there. But actually this version is fine. I think the fabric is quite lightweight, and it might have just stretched out slightly with time and wear anyway. But I put a picture up of me wearing this outfit. It's a really nice, comfy one. It was good for a play date this morning. And then we're going to be out this afternoon running some errands, so it'll be perfect, nice and comfy for that too. So that's what I'm wearing today, but I better head off now. I said we need to get out and run some errands this afternoon. So I will see you again tomorrow for Tuesday. So yeah, see you tomorrow. Bye. Hello, it's Tuesday now, and it's just coming up to 6 o'clock in the evening. So I'm on a bit later today than I was hoping to be. I was hoping to carve out a little bit of time after lunch to film like I did yesterday, but somehow that didn't happen today. We were rushing about, we were a bit busier than I expected us to be, so I thought, don't stress about it, you can pop on later, it won't matter if you film today in sort of more evening light. But we've had a really nice day, even though it's been busy. We went into town this morning, we scooted into town, or my children scooted and I sort of jogged behind them a little bit. And we went to the library, I went to a cafe, went to the supermarket, got a few bits done. And it was really lovely weather for it actually. It's been very mild today and the sun's been shining, there's been no rain, which has been really good. And then this afternoon we went to a local country park and we did a Halloween pumpkin trail, which is a lot of fun. So yeah, it's a really nice day actually. I think we're all a bit tired now. I'm looking forward to a cup of tea a little bit later. But while my children have just finished dinner and having a bit of quiet time before they go up to bed, I thought I'd pop on and share with you what I'm wearing today. So I thought, because I knew we were going to have quite an active day today and be out and about, I wear a pair of jeans and I've got a handmade sweater on. It's quite a lightweight sweatshirt, because I thought that'd be good for the mild weather, and it's worked really well. And I made this sweatshirt using a pattern that I haven't made for quite a while actually. It's one I made a couple of times when I was quite new to sewing, but I haven't returned to it since, and I'll talk about why in a moment. I'll share the pattern first. It's this one here. It is the Linden sweatshirt pattern by Grainline Studio. So it's quite a relaxed fit sweatshirt pattern. You can also make it as a t-shirt. It's got a round neck and it's got raglan sleeves and quite a straight fit to it. The one downside of this pattern is it's Its size range isn't the best. It goes from a US size 0 up to a US 18, and the largest size is for a bust of 44 inches. It's a nice relaxed, simple sweatshirt pattern. It sews up nicely. Yes, I think it's described as a beginner pattern, so it's a fairly simple sew for stretch fabrics. And I made a couple, like I mentioned, when I first started sewing, and I think this was the first one I made. But the reason I haven't revisited it so much is because I'm not such a big fan of the raglan style sweatshirt on me. I don't find it the comfiest style to wear, or it just doesn't feel as me as a drop shoulder sweatshirt, which is my favourite style. And you'll know that if you've watched my videos before. My favourite sweatshirt patterns are both sort of drop shoulder style. So yeah, it's okay. It's just not my favourite, I guess, and it's not one I sort of think of revisiting now. But I do really like this version because I think the fabric's quite fun. It is a sort of loop back jersey, French terry style fabric. And I got it from an online fabric shop that unfortunately has since closed down. But it's quite cute, I think. You can probably see even in this light, it's like a light pink colour, and it's got lots of little triangles on in different colours, like hot pink and teal and mustard and all sorts of colours. I think it's quite a cute kind of colour combination. I think it goes quite well with a pair of blue jeans and a pair of trainers, which is what I've been wearing today. And because it's nice and lightweight, when I've been racing around after my children, I haven't got overheated in it. And I think I made the size 0 on this pattern. It's designed for a bust of 32 inches, waist 25 inches and hips 35 inches. But it's described this one as a relaxed fit, so I think I went with that version on the basis that the finished garment measurements showed there'd be enough room for me in that size. And I think I remember from making it up, I ended up taking in a bit around the waist at the time to give it more of a kind of fitted look. I think that was just my personal preference at the time, and I actually quite like the raglan sleeve as a more fitted look. So yeah, it's a bit more close fitted than I think the pattern intends. I'll stand up a bit so you can see. I think I probably lengthened the sleeves and the body, because I always do on patterns. I think even when I was quite early in sewing, I was still really enjoying the fact that I could lengthen those areas and make them so I wasn't tugging on the sleeves and tugging on the body like I used to on old ready to wear garments. So I think those are the only adjustments I made, to lengthen the sleeves and the main body, and then just take it in a bit of the sides to give it a little bit more of a closer fit. And it still goes nicely over a t-shirt. It's not super tight, there's still a bit of room in it. But yeah, that's what I'm wearing today. Just a nice relaxed outfit, and I'll pop a picture up so you can see what it looks like on. But I'll finish off here now and yeah, go and sort of tidy up from dinner and that sort of thing. And then yeah, looking forward to sitting back a bit later and having a cup of tea after a busy day. Hopefully tomorrow will be a bit more chilled, so I'll be on a bit earlier in daylight tomorrow, fingers crossed. So I'll see you tomorrow for Wednesday. So yeah, see you tomorrow. Oh, and I might put in a little mini bit of video now of us doing the pumpkin trail this afternoon, just so you can see. It's quite a pretty place where we did it. So I'll pop in a little video now of that, and yeah, see you tomorrow. Bye. Hello, it's Wednesday now, and as you can probably see from the lighting in this room, I'm actually on again in the evening today, like yesterday, even though I'd hoped to be on a little bit earlier initially. So it's about 6:30 in the evening, and my husband has just taken the children upstairs for them to have a bath, and I thought now was a good time for me to pop on. And the main reason I'm on a little bit later today is not because I didn't have time in the day, because today was a little bit more chilled like we'd planned. But actually I ended up wearing ready to wear clothing today. This morning we went to a rock climbing centre near us. The children quite enjoy a bit of bouldering, and I was supervising them. We were meeting a friend there, and I ended up just popping on something that was easy, an old sweatshirt, ready to wear sweatshirt and a pair of jeans. So I wore that all day. So I thought instead I'd pop on this evening, because generally I change into some handmade loungewear in the evenings just to be able to chill at home. So I thought I'd pop on and share that with you instead of my daytime outfit. So that's what I'll do. And I've been in this set actually for quite a while, because we got home today maybe about 3:30, and I felt a bit chilly then. We haven't got the heating on here yet, so it's getting a bit cooler, and I was a bit tired, I guess, from having been out, and so I thought I'd just pop my handmade loungewear on and get nice and cosy. And I've been doing all the things like cleaning up at the end of the day and making my children's dinner in my handmade loungewear set. So I am wearing a handmade sweatshirt and some handmade joggers. And the sweatshirt I made using one of my favourite sweatshirt patterns. It's a drop shoulder sweatshirt pattern, which I think I mentioned yesterday is my favourite style of sweatshirt. I really love that relaxed drop shoulder look. And the pattern is this one of my favourites, the Megan Nielsen Jarrah sweatshirt. And I really love this sweatshirt because I love the sort of relaxed fit of it, and it sews up really nicely, but I also love how many variations there are included in this pattern. So it feels like a pattern you can really get a lot of use out of, and it's real value for money, I think. So I'll show you the different line drawings so you can see all the different options. The version I'm wearing today is this version here, the kind of classic sweatshirt with a round neck, cuffs and a bottom band and quite a relaxed fit. There's also this version here, you can add these slitted cuffs and a sort of dipped hem that kind of hangs down a bit lower at the back. Then there's this version with the tie at the front, like the model on the pattern, paper pattern is wearing. And there's also this version here with a funnel neck and a sort of straight hem without a bottom band. So yeah, loads of different versions to mix and match in this pattern. And it's got a really good size range too. I've got the US 0 to 20 version, and there's also a 14 to 30 version, which is the Megan Nielsen curve version. So it's just a really great pattern. I've made loads of versions, and this is my favourite snuggly evening version. I don't really tend to wear this one out, I just generally keep it as loungewear. I made it in this really nice cosy fleece back sweatshirting fabric that I got quite a while ago from Fabric Godmother. It's quite nice and thick, so it's perfect if I'm feeling a little bit chilly, and it's in this kind of icy blue colour, which I quite like. So yeah, that's the version I'm wearing today. I'm not sure if this fabric is still in stock at Fabric Godmother. I'll check, and if it is, I'll link it. Otherwise, I'll link their current fleece back sweatshirt range, because they often have a really nice range of sweatshirting fabrics. And for this version, I made the size 0, or I always make the size 0, which fits my bust, and my waist and hips are slightly larger, but it's quite a straight fit. So I think if you go by your bust measurement on this one, you'll probably be okay, unless you've got a big variation between that and your sort of hips measurement, because it's quite straight fitting. And oversized. So yeah, I made that size, and then what I did was I lengthened the sleeves and the body both by quite a bit, because I wanted it to be really cozy for wearing in the evenings. So the body length is fine, but I actually lengthened the sleeves so much they ended up a bit too long. So I always just wear them with the sleeve cuffs turned up like this. I could, I guess, sort of trim them back and actually reattach them on, so I could wear them without them folded over. I'm so used to them folded over now, I find them just fine like that. So they are nice long sleeves. So I guess if I ever was out, I'd be able to turn them over and be extra super snuggly in it. But yeah, so I think I lengthened the body by a couple of inches, and maybe the sleeves by at least a couple of inches too, which is probably a little bit too much. And I couldn't find a matching ribbing for this fleece back sweatshirt colour, so I just went for the actual same fabric for all the bands too, which is fine. I think I guess I think I might have maybe needed to adjust the size of the neckband slightly, because this has got slightly less stretch in it than maybe like a French cherry or ribbing fabric, but it was fine. I think I just had to play around to make sure it lay nice and flat without sort of pulling in the fabric too much. And I think I did twin needle stitching. I can't actually see, did I do twin needle stitching at the top? Yeah, which I think gives quite a nice finish. So that's my sweatshirt I'm wearing. It's just so snuggly and cosy, and I've teamed it with my snuggliest pair of True Bias Hudson pants, which I've also got the pattern for here somewhere. Here it is, which is my favourite joggers pattern. Again, it's got a really good size range. It goes from, I've got the paper pattern, which goes from a US 0 to 18, but there's also a 14 to 30 size range available in this pattern too. So the Hudson pants are definitely my go-to jogger pattern. I've made a fair few of them. I have tried another joggers pattern, but this is definitely my favourite. I'll show you the line drawings. They're kind of a mid-rise jogger, so they're not super high-waisted, which I actually quite like. I kind of prefer that to something that sits around my waist, particularly in the evening if I'm sitting on the sofa and I've had dinner. I don't want something cutting into my waist too much. Then they've got quite a slim fit to them, and then cuff bands at the bottom, a little pocket detail, and you can add an optional drawstring around the waist if you want. But it's all elasticated around the waist, so you don't really need the drawstring. Yeah, it's purely sort of ornamental, as it were. And I've always made the size 2. I had to remind myself actually, because I haven't had this pattern out for a while. I haven't made a pair in a while, just because I've got a few pairs that just I wear and wear. I made the size 2, which I think I pretty much decided my waist is a size 0 and my hips are size 4. So I think when I made my first pair, I thought I'd just take the middle size rather than grading between the sizes. And that's been fine. And because the fabric's all quite stretchy, there's plenty of room. But the pair I'm wearing today, I actually did make a bit of an adjustment on. I'll stand up so you can see the fabric before I tell you about the fabric. It's this really lovely fleece back sweatshirting fabric by Mind the Maker, which I got from Minerva. And I'll link it down below because I think it's still available. And I got the matching ribbing as well to use for the ankle cuffs and for the pocket detail and the waistband, because this fabric is super snuggly. It's the coziest fleece back fabric that I've bought to date, so it's really, really nice and thick. But that meant I didn't really want to use it for the ankle cuffs because I thought it would make it really hard to get on because it's so thick and fleecy. It's not got such a high stretch percentage. And I also did the ribbing for the waistband, so I thought the actual fleecy fabric might end up really bulky around my waist, so I thought the ribbing would be finer and work better there too. So I've got the matching ribbing too, and the colourway, I think it's called Rust, but I'll double check and I'll put all the details down below. But it's such snuggly fabric, and because it hasn't got such a great amount of stretch, what I ended up doing for this pair is, it was probably not the most technical way to cut these out, but I ended up popping my standard size 2 pattern pieces down on the fabric and then just cutting the legs a bit wider just by eye. I think I might have added a centimetre or so on each side of each leg pattern piece. Because these true bias Hudson pants have quite a slim leg, I thought they might be a bit too snug with this not very stretchy fabric. So I basically just widened them a bit so they're not as close fitting as the Hudson pants would generally come up, if that makes sense. But I'll put a picture up so you can see what they look like on. So they don't have quite the normal Hudson pants sort of slimline vibe, but they're super cosy and perfect for the evenings. And yeah, I think I'll definitely make another pair if this one does start to wear out at some point, because it's the loveliest, fleeciest fabric, so perfect for kind of winter evenings when you are feeling a bit chilly, like I am tonight. So that is what I'm wearing this evening, so my evening handmade wardrobe today. So I'll be back on again tomorrow for Thursday, yeah, hopefully in the day I think, because I'll probably be wearing this exact same outfit in the evening, so you probably don't want to see that again. So yeah, hopefully see you again tomorrow for Thursday. Yeah, see you tomorrow, bye! Hello, it's Thursday now and it's early evening, so yet again I've not managed to pop on during the day to share with you what I'm wearing. Today we went for a day out and I was hoping I'd be able to pop on before we went out early in the morning, but we ended up a bit busy making packed lunches and that sort of thing, so it didn't happen. So I thought, never mind, we'll just go out and I'll film when I get home. We had a really nice day out. We went to a local country park. There were lots of Halloween activities going on there, so my children really enjoyed making slime. They had a really cute Halloween show which we all enjoyed, and there were lots of outdoor activities as well. The weather was nice. It looked rainy at the start of today, but gradually the clouds cleared away and it was quite sunny by lunchtime, so we had a really lovely day there, very busy and active. The children are quite tired now, so they are having a bit of a flop in the other room, so I thought I'd sneak in here and share with you what I've been wearing today. And today I have been wearing a pair of jeans and a handmade sweatshirt, and this sweatshirt is another version of the Jarrah sweatshirt pattern by Megan Nielsen, which I showed you yesterday. It's another one of the version A options, so this classic sweatshirt here with the round neck and the cuffs and the bottom band. This is one of my more daytimey versions, and I really love the fabric this is made in, so whenever I put this on it feels a bit nice because I think the fabric is so nice. This fabric is a fleece back sweatshirting fabric by Atelier Brunette, which I got from Minerva. It comes in 2 colourways. I am wearing the sort of dark colourway, which is a really dark navy blue colour. There's also an off-white colour, which I love the look of too, but I've not bought and I probably won't ever buy, just because I think I just get it dirty because it's such a light colour, so I would just be too worried about spoiling it. But I really love this colourway, and I think the patterns on it are really cute. They sort of remind me of fruits in really pretty autumnal colours, so it felt just right for this time of year. And it's quite nice actually because it's quite different to the sweatshirting I was talking about yesterday evening. This is quite a lightweight sweatshirting fabric, so it's perfect for a day like today where I was sort of rushing around with the children quite a lot and I got a bit hot in the sun. I didn't feel too hot in this sweatshirt because it's quite lightweight, so it's ideal if you want a lighter weight type sweatshirting fabric. And I've got the matching ribbing. I used the matching ribbing that was available for the cuffs and the neckband and the bottom band, so I like how it comes with the matching ribbing. I'll link this fabric down below, like I will all the fabrics in the video, because I think this is still available. So yeah, it's really nice fabric, and the version I made of the Jarrah is slightly different from yesterday evening's one, just in the fact that, well, I haven't got such ridiculously long sleeves on this one. I think I only lengthened the sleeves by 1 inch, so they come just where I want them. I don't have to, yeah, pull them up. And I also made this one a little bit more cropped. I do find the Jarrah pattern does come up quite cropped on me, and I'm 5'6", so I think I still may have lengthened this one, but maybe only by 1 inch or so. And I'll put a picture so you can see sort of where it comes to on me. So it's got a bit more of a boxy cropped look than the other version, which I often just tuck in. So yeah, it's a really nice comfy one to wear, and I just love this fabric, and the Jarrah is so comfy for being out and about with the children. So I'll finish off now. I think I'm going to go and make myself a cup of tea, and then yeah, have a bit of a relaxed evening after a busy day out and about. So I'll see you tomorrow for Friday. As ever, I know I always say in these videos, the week seems to go so fast, but yeah, looking forward to see you again tomorrow for the final day of this week of my handmade wardrobe. So yeah, see you tomorrow. Bye. Hello, it's Friday now, and I finally managed to make it on today in daylight hours, which feels like a bit of a success after the last few days. So it's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon here. We've had a nice day today. We went out earlier and met some friends at a local park, and my children really enjoyed playing with their friends. We ended up staying a bit longer than I thought we would. So we got back home, had a bit of a late lunch, and they're now having a bit of quiet time, just chilling in the other room. So I thought I'd pop in here and share with you what I'm wearing today. And I thought I'd mix it up a little bit today. Instead of wearing a sweatshirt and jeans like I have done the last few days, which is always a real easy choice when the children are around and we're being quite active, I thought I'd wear a skirt and just to mix it up a little bit. So I've got on a ready-to-wear top, just a really old one actually, and the skirt is handmade, and I made it using this pattern here, which is one of my favourite skirt patterns, the estuary skirt pattern by So Liberated. It's a skirt I've made a few different versions of, and I find it really comfy to wear. It's got a flat fronted waistband and an elasticated back waistband, so it's really easy to get on and off with the elastic. Then it's got a placket down the front, a button placket down the front, but you can make it as a faux placket because of the elastic at the back. You don't actually need the buttonholes to be actually usable. They're just there sort of to make the skirt look pretty, I guess, with a placket down the front. It's quite a swishy skirt, and you can make it in different lengths, like a knee length or a midi length or a longer length. And you can add on patch pockets, and there's also an inseam pocket option for this pattern too. And it comes in a good size range. It goes from a US 0 up to a US 30, and the largest size is for waist of 48.5 inches and hips of 57 inches. And I've always sized down one size on this pattern because I think the first version I made came up a little bit loose around the waist, and I like it to be fairly snug around the waist, not to feel like it's sort of dragging down a little bit. But I think there's a bit of wiggle room with this pattern, and because you add the elastic at the back, you can kind of adjust the elastic to make it fit you nicely, and I've always kind of been careful to get the elastic to fit just right after my first version, which did come up a little bit loose. And the version I'm wearing today is a bit of a hack of this pattern because I made it, first of all, I chopped it off to mini length, which is a length I really like, and it's quite a practical length for racing around after the children, I find. But I also decided to make it without the placket, so it's quite easy to do that. I basically, instead of cutting the two front skirt pieces, I just cut two of the back skirt pieces, which is one continuous piece, so one for the front and one for the back. And then I just cut the front waistband on the fold rather than in two pieces with a placket in the middle. So yeah, it was quite easy to do, and I'll stand up a bit so you can see what my version I'm wearing today looks like. Oh, and I added on inseam pockets too to this one because it is quite handy to have the pockets, but I find on a shorter skirt there's not so much room to sort of put the patch pockets, so I like the inseam pockets on this mini length. And the version I'm wearing today I made in this really cute fabric. This is a cotton Cath fabric. I'll hold up again so you can see what it looks like. And I got this from Tokri, which is an online fabric shop. They also sell other things like buttons. I think they might sell some clothing to a whole load of different things, but they have lovely cotton Cath fabrics. And I made an order from them a couple of years ago, I think, and sort of ordered a few different Cath fabrics, which I've turned into different dresses and skirts, and I love them all. I find cotton Cath really nice, soft, comfy fabric to wear, and it's also really nice to sew with too because it's quite stable. But yeah, the version I'm wearing, the skirt I'm wearing today is in this black base Cath fabric with these white large spots on, which I think is really cute. And I like it as a skirt with just a black pair of tights, black boots and black top, which is what I've been wearing today. I'll put a picture up so you can see what it looks like on. And yeah, it just sews up really nicely, and I find this skirt just a really nice, comfy one to wear. So that is what I'm wearing today. That's the end of the week, I guess. So I hope you've enjoyed hearing about what I've been wearing this week and a bit about what we've been up to for half term too. It's been fun to pop on every day and share what I'm wearing. If you've enjoyed this video, then please do give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, then I'd love it if you would consider subscribing. And if you also press the bell icon, it means you'll be notified when my future videos come out. So I hope you've had a good week too. Thanks again for watching, and I'll hopefully see you again soon. Bye!